Very good morning to you. Now, if you suffer from vertigo or acrophobia, you really don't want to be where I am. I'm standing on the top of the Jojo rooftop terrace, which is at the center of Maboneng, which is at the center of Johannesburg. It's an area that has received billions of rand in investments to the end of regeneration. Some of it has been successful, some not so, exacerbated obviously by the COVID-19 pandemic. But what I want to find out today is, how do you make a success of doing business in the inner city? With me is famous fashion designer Thula Sindi. Very good morning to you. Tell us about some of the challenges to being successful in the inner city.
Jane, you know, the city is a very exciting place. There's lots of energy, there's lots of people, so that's really a good pro. Because as a fashion designer, and I have Africa Rise store in the Joburg city, it's about having those eyes on your product. Because once people see your product, they just love it. But the challenge is, town is still on the path of regeneration. You know, there's still so much to be done in terms of infrastructure, in terms of good public transport, in terms of safety as well. But a lot is being done.
Right, so it might not be the sort of footfall that you require in order to sell your brand, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. But at the same time, you must understand that the Joburg city is such a magnet, especially for tourists, because people that come from outside the country, they want to see the inner heartbeat of a city. They don't want to be in suburbia or in fancy glass malls. They want to see the city, they want to see historical places like Soweto, they want to see Maboneng, Joburg city. So Africa Rise in Joburg City is about both. It's about the local economy, it's about educating the customer, for them seeing what African designers have got to offer, but also when the international tourists do come in, they come and see what we do.
Now, I tried to get into one of your dresses this morning. I'm sad it didn't fit, and I'm quite pleased because it was quite cold this morning, but I mean, your stuff is really beautiful. I guess being in the inner city, you add to the African story, don't you? It helps with the product. It helps to show South Africa for what we are, that we can lead.
Absolutely, Jane. And you know, the other thing is that one needs to be at the creative heartbeat of a city. One cannot be disconnected from the people when you create a product, because clothing is really about being in touch with people, especially people that you might think are not your customer base, but you need to see trends, you need to see what's moving, especially with the youth that's inside the city, and you know, all the migrant youth that come in to study. There's so many new buildings and new apartments that cater to them. And I also create my garments from the inner city. My studios are here, and a lot of other fashion designers as well, from David Tlale to Ifemal. Everyone is based in the city, so there's a sense of community, and also a sense of learning and exchange.
I should imagine there is a community and your inspiration is here. How did you deal with COVID? As you say, it's very sort of people-based business.
Oh, it's been a great challenge, but you know, fashion is a dynamic business, and as fashion designers we must understand that we are not the most important in the Maslow pyramid, but people always need to wear something, and when things are tough, people would rather either save their money or wear something that's really special. So that's where we've come in. We've said, how can we reach customers? How can we create things of value and things of importance that they can say, okay, maybe I won't pay my kids' school fees, I'll buy this dress.
Yeah. All right, so what are you projecting going forward? I mean, we don't know if another wave, if we're in the midst of it, if there's going to be any sort of shutdown. So what are you preparing for? And talk us a little bit about security in this area as well.
Well, COVID has been quite a challenge for all of us, and luckily our numbers seem to be under control. There's been a lot of compliance, well, in the last few weeks not so much in terms of mask wearing and social distancing, but people are getting to understand that this is very important for us not to get into another lockdown. Even if it was level 3, we need to keep things as they are. So what we're doing is just maintaining that if people go into the store, it's all about the mask, it's about the hands sanitizing, it's about just keeping each other safe, so that we can at least get back to some sort of normal, whatever normal means anymore.
Well, Thula, it's very good to have you with us, Thula Sindi, here, and love your stuff, and thanks for talking to us in the heart of Maboneng, an area that is a real blueprint for the potential success of any inner city. Back to you, ladies, in the warmth of that studio.